Oral questions, questions orales, the Honourable Leader of the Opposition.
Mr. Speaker, Canadians should be able to eat their fill, but the Inequality Observation Authority said that food insecurity has gone up by 82% in Quebec. And there has been a 116% increase in the number of people going to food banks. 1.7 million Quebecers cannot eat their fill. Why is this government forcing this? Why is this Liberal government forcing Quebecers to pay more on their taxes and on inflation? They're feeding bureaucracy instead of feeding their families.
Secretary of State for Youth and Children and Youth.
Merci, Monsieur le Président.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. No parent should have any difficulty in feeding their children. But on this side of the House, we have invested many times in food at school, investing in children, tax cuts for 22 million Canadians. We are investing in affordable housing, which is essential to fight poverty. On this side of the House, we are here for families. On the other side, they vote against these measures every single time. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Leader of the Opposition.
We vote against measures that feed bureaucracy instead of feed families and children, Mr. Speaker. Since the creation of the school food program, the number of children who need to go to food banks has doubled, and 90% of children don't get anything from this program. Even if we believe government figures, every time the government spends more, it becomes more expensive in food inflation on top of taxes on food. So why are they forcing Canadians? Why are they forcing Canadians to pay for bureaucracy rather than food for their family? The Honourable Leader of the Government in the House. Mr. Speaker, my colleague just talked about the food school program. There's also the childcare benefit. We could talk about automatic benefits. So no bureaucracy when things are automatic. And these programs directly help mothers and fathers who are living food insecurity, which, yes, is too common in our society. Mr. Speaker, why does this leader and this party vote against these measures every single time, measures that help those who suffer from food insecurity?
The Opposition.
Mr. Speaker, today Algoma announced it's laying off 1,000 steel workers, nearly a third of its workforce in the Sioux. Our thoughts are with them. The Prime Minister looked them in the eye and promised he would protect their jobs, that he would negotiate a win, and I quote, have a deal by July 21st, but it was a bait and switch that is costing people their livelihoods. On top of that, Liberals are hammering the steel mill with a higher industrial carbon tax. Isn't it bad enough that the Prime Minister broke his promise on trade? Why is he going ahead with an industrial carbon tax that will kill even more steel jobs?
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Obviously, our thoughts are with the workers affected by the unjustified and unjustifiable tariffs imposed by the White House, and we'll continue to work with them as Algoma Steel is going through a difficult situation, to say the least. Mr. Speaker, my team and I have been in contact with Algoma's leadership team. We absolutely have every confidence in the Algoma workers as they're going through this hardship, and we will make sure that we support them as they're developing new products and also accessing new markets. We'll fight for these jobs, Mr. Speaker.
The Honourable Leader of the Opposition.
Mr. Speaker, more promises and more Liberal thoughts will not put food on the table of those out-of-work steel workers. And they're not alone. The Liberal food cost crisis is growing, according to today's Feed Ontario report, which reveals that food bank use is up 13% in 1 year and 165% since this Prime Minister became the economic advisor to this Liberal government. 8.7 million Ontario visits in 1 year to the Ontario Food Bank, while this Prime Minister hikes carbon taxes on food production. Why is he driving more people into hunger with higher taxes?
The Honourable Minister of Jobs and Families.
Mr. Speaker, every step of the way, these Conservatives fight against the supports that Canadian families talk about needing. And in fact, Mr. Speaker, they just asked a question about workers that are facing job losses at Algoma Steel. And yet, Mr. Speaker, when they had a chance to vote for expansion of EI, for easier access, longer duration, and more generous benefits, they voted against it, Mr. Speaker. So how do they in any way have the right to stand up and talk about the needs of Canadians when they stand in the way of the supports that those very Canadians need?
The Honourable Leader of the Opposition.
The supports that those Canadians want and need is a paycheck, Mr. Speaker. They want to be able to afford food. They should be able. In a country with this much farmland and this much wealth, our people should be able to eat. But according to the latest report by Feed Ontario, there's been a 165% increase in food bank use in Ontario alone since this Prime Minister joined this government. Yet he wants to go ahead with an industrial carbon tax on farm equipment, food processors, and fertilizer that will drive up the cost of food. Why does he get fat on his tax havens while he taxes?
Mr. Speaker, it's amazing to hear the Leader of the Opposition, because the first thing we did is to make sure that Canadians would have more money in their pocket, Mr. Speaker. We, in fact, reduced taxes for Canadians, 22 million Canadians. But you know what, Mr. Speaker? What's most disturbing for Canadians watching at home? At every step of the way, where we were there for families, where we were there for workers, where we were there for Canadians, they stand in the way, Mr. Speaker. That's the leader who voted against Canadian. On this side of the House, we believe in Canada. We're going to grow this country. We're going to work for families. We're going to protect the worker. We're going to build Canada, Mr. Speaker.
The Honourable Leader of the Opposition.
Prime Minister didn't just break his promises on food, also on housing. He said he'd double home building. But today, a report out from the Missing Middle shows that housing starts are down 34% across 34 Ontario municipalities. Condo starts down 51%. Yet the Prime Minister goes ahead with a Liberal industrial carbon tax on the steel, aluminum, glass, and other inputs required to build homes. It is a tax on homes, all while he hides his millions of dollars in a Bermuda tax haven. Why does he hide his money abroad while taxing homes here in Canada?
The Honourable Minister of Housing and Infrastructure.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. If the Leader of the Opposition and Conservatives actually cared about affordable housing, they would have voted for the budget with $13 billion for affordable housing. Mr. Speaker, they could have voted for $1 billion to fight homelessness and build supportive housing. They could. These Conservatives stalled the first-time home buyers GST break since June. They have no credibility on affordable housing, Mr. Speaker.